Today, Adrienne shampooed my hair and gave me a condition, and also had very interesting conversations at the same time, posing some very poignant questions.
Never get an Indian head massage usually, and it's definitely something that you should have. It's lovely.
I'm here because I'm bonding with people and having a confessional exchange with them. And the piece, Salon Adrienne, is basically an excuse for me to have a meaningful interaction and dialogue exchange with another person. And also because I kind of feel that there's sort of something religious about the idea of confession. I suppose Catholic religion comes to mind. That at the end of the piece I give people an Indian head massage because it's kind of like the gift of absolution equivalent for the confession that they've offered up previously with me to the mirror.
So usually when I go to the hairdressers, and I do sometimes come to this hairdressers, obviously have a conversation with my hairdresser. What are you going to be asking me about today?
I'm really going to be asking you about what you see when you take a long, hard look at yourself in the mirror. And of course people initially start with that sort of superficial thing of the bags under my eyes, the wrinkles, this, that and the other. But I push them to go further, you know, metaphorically, what comes up for you when you take a long, hard look at yourself in the mirror. So that's what I'm really interested in, and that's the kind of the meat of the piece, really, getting to that point. And I share a lot of personal information as well, and I think it's by me sharing a lot of personal information that people think, oh, well, if he's prepared to say all that about himself, then, you know, I'm prepared to tell him something in exchange. But it's interesting, isn't it, how you kind of relinquish sort of like control, yes, don't you?
Yeah. Did you have to do any training in blow drying and stuff before you could do this?
No. And what always happens, every hairdressers I go to and do this, the juniors are always desperate to tell me that I'm doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong?
Yeah. And, you know, even down to like, you're washing the hair wrong and you're not doing this right. And the thing is that I couldn't give a monkeys if I'm doing it right or wrong. Do you know what I mean? Because for me, it's sort of like, it's the piece itself that I'm interested in. You know, it's the conversation that I'm interested in. It's not actually whether I'm doing this accurately or not. What I find is that women are more prepared than men generally to launch into talking about personal things and personal issues. Men are prepared as well. Actually, what normally happens is, once you kind of open the door a bit, for men to talk about themselves, they'll absolutely go for it. Do you know what I mean? But they kind of have to feel that, I suppose they kind of have to feel a little bit more secure. I think that's the main difference I felt. Because my persona is female, I think that people are possibly more prepared to open up to me, and also because they know that I've got a mask on. They know that I've got a kind of disguise, so to speak, and I think they're far more prepared if they're a stranger to open up to me, you know, for those two reasons, that it's feminine, it's a feminine sort of disguise, and also that it is a disguise. And they kind of feel quite secure. Because a lot of people think, certainly when they look at the publicity, that I might be a sort of a gobby, confrontational drag queen.
I was a little bit worried, I have to say.
Yeah.
Completely you're not, and I feel quite comfortable now, but there is that territory that goes with drag queens.
Absolutely, and that is a deliberate thing that I'm playing with, and that I'm sort of subverting, because, you know, people come with certain sort of expectations, but then they go, oh, but actually he's a nice human being, and I can talk, and, you know, and he's not going to judge what I'm saying or take the piss out of it. Okay, would you like to follow me, Una? Because this is absolutely a mask for me, completely, yeah. And actually it's interesting because I would say that as Adrian, on a daily basis, if I catch myself in the mirror, I'm not too thrilled. And I often have that experience of going, oh, that's what I look like. Oh, what a shame. Because I think that I should be better looking than I am. And I think the reason why I think that is because I've done a lot of like therapy and stuff in my life. Done a lot of internal work, and I feel that like this should reflect that.
I'm happy, I love myself.
And it doesn't, you know. But as Adrienne, I don't mind looking at myself in the mirror at all. You know, it's like, it's fine. But what I do have is this like momentary thing of like, I look like my mother. And my mother does not wear like over-the-top drag makeup like this, but somehow she's in there somewhere.
Go for a bit of a side thing, but wear a little bit forward towards the side.
Yeah, that was a really nice experience. I tend to think of drag queens as being quite combative, and so I was sort of bristling ready for the experience. But actually, Adrian is very thoughtful. We had a lovely conversation. He gave me a lovely head massage. We talked about lots of stuff to do with like childhood and family and having your hair washed. So it was a really pleasant, lovely experience.